Hey guys, I hope you're doing well. Today I'm going to do a quick review of this Vox Valvetronix VT80 Plus. The VT Plus range comes in different sizes. I have the 80 watt here, and the Plus indicates it can be driven beyond its rated wattage. So in this case 80 can go to 120. So I think they have the 40, the 20, the 40, the 80 and the 120 in this particular range. And then there's a newer version to this, which has got a lot more modern features. I personally prefer this one to what I've seen of the newer version, and I'll let you know why. What initially caught my attention with this range was the fact that it deploys a 12AX7 tube in the pass section of the amplifier, so it's right after all the modeling is done. That's very interesting because most 12AX7s are deployed in the preamp section. So the amp comes with what Vox claims 33 amplifiers. It's more like 11 amplifier types with 3 channels per amp, so you effectively have 33 amps. Now, the 3 channel types comprise of green, orange and the red channel, out of which from what I've seen the green and the orange sound the best. The red tends to be on the fizzy side. I found them slightly harder to dial in versus the orange and the green. You have a pedal section which has got your overdrives, and it's also got an octaver, which I found very interesting. I always love having an octaver whenever I'm writing some riffs. It just adds so much dimension to your playing. And then it's got its modulation, time-based effects section, which has got your delays and your choruses and flanges. And what they've also cleverly done is they've combined chorus and delay so that you can actually have 2 effects cascaded rather than just being able to dial in one. So that's pretty nifty of them. You have one general EQ section, and then finally you have the single knob, which is the power level, which really lets you take the amp from bedroom levels all the way up to a small gig. It's a closed back unit and it's got a tiny vent at the back, 2 on the top. The way Vox has deployed that tube has worked wonders in my opinion, because it does sound way better than the other modeling amps I've tried. And if you have tried a few as well, you probably know what I'm talking about. There's a slight distortion / breakup on the higher frequencies that gets really annoying as you sit and play with the amp for a while. This amp doesn't have that issue. The tones sound rather pre-EQ'd or dialed in to be more pleasant, and I probably think that's the tube doing its work over there. So you'll get a lot of headroom and dynamics from this amp. Let's look at some single coils. Very nice cleans. There are 2 features I like about this amp. The first, it doesn't have any USB or companion app, so you can't really take this, sit on the computer and dial it to Kingdom Come. That for me is great because I tend to be a big tweaker and land up wasting more time dialing tones than playing. So this is better suited for me. I can dial in all the tones. They're pretty usable, straight off the panel, and what you see is what you can use. Vox has what they call deep editing, where you can hold down the tap button and your value for whichever section you're trying to adjust, and you can, for the pedal section, you can actually dial in an inbuilt noise gate, so you can bring down any kind of feedback if you're playing on the high gain channels. And on the delay modulation section, you can actually shape your effects. So if you're talking about delay, you can change the timing of your delay time. Same way for the other effects. What would have been nice to see in the delay section is a value, because if I want to dial in, say, a 325 millisecond delay, here I have to rely on tap tempo. So that's one feature which could have been nice to see, just to know what value delay time you've dialed in. The second, I like this look and feel of this amplifier versus the new range. To me, the Vox with that line is the classic look. I mean, that's what you see in most of the Voxes. And the new ranges just don't look right to me. That's just personal. I like this classic look versus the off-center speaker with the logo badge on one side. You can pair this with a VFS5. I don't have enough floor room right now to waste on a pedal, but basically what it gives you is the option to switch between 2 banks and 4 presets per bank. So you can actually go between 8 tones if you're playing live. And whichever preset you're on is also indicated on the front panel. So you know exactly, it says channel 3. So it will be the channel 3 on the pedal. So if you had delay engaged in that patch, you can actually tap tempo the delay by hitting the channel switch on the fly and change your delay. So that's kind of cool. Bear in mind, if you're using the foot switch, worth mentioning, make sure your amp is off when you connect it and then power the amp up. That will just save you a ton of problems. It has an inbuilt tuner. I've used it a couple of times. It's fairly sensitive. Couple of things I would have liked to see on the amp. Firstly, I spoke about the indicator for the delay. Second thing would have been nice to have a speaker out, or at least a recording line out, because I think the tones sound great. Definitely very usable even for recording, but you don't have a speaker out or a line out or any XLR out. That would have been really nice to have. All you have here is the foot switch pedal, and that's it. That's one feature I think would have helped. Now bear in mind, there is a headphone out, so you can plug in headphones and play silently, disengages the speaker, and you have a line in to connect your MP3 player / whatever audio device you have. I don't consider the speaker out the same as a headphone out. It just isn't the same. You want a dedicated XLR or a 1/4 inch output. overall I think this amp is great. It looks good, it sounds very good, and is a step up from all the previous modeling amps I've tried. It's not going to come close to a real tube amp or even a really good digital setup like the Axe-Fx or Kempo, but for what it is and for the price that you can get these, which is I think the $300 to $500 range, I think it's real value for that kind of money. The amp is very easy to factory reset if you need to do it at any point. You just hold down the channel 1 and 4 buttons while you power up the amp, and then you have to hit the tap to confirm the reset and you got a brand new amp. Another thing, that power section is very powerful. Bear in mind it's deploying a tube, etc. So it's just advisable, turn your power level down to 0 and your final master volume stage down to 0 before you power on your amp. Wait for about 3 minutes and then you're good to go. I hope you found this helpful. If you have any questions or suggestions, please drop me a line. If you have one of these, do share your experiences as well. With that, I'll wrap up this video. You take care and I'll see you in my next update. Bye now.